Trying to see if this thing is. There we go. Welcome, guys. We are here for an emergency podcast episode. We are live right now on YouTube, so this will be uploaded later on. If you are not able to get to it, it will now. If you are listening to it on Apple and Spotify, now you are here. Welcome, guys, to the Blue Stable Podcast Emergency Pod Edition. The Colts just reported a few minutes ago. The Colts have given Jonathan Taylor and his camp permission to seek a trade. Now, things look like they're starting to move a little bit here, but there's still probably some trickery stuff that is going to happen here. But me, myself, and Marcus are here to talk to you guys about it. So, I don't really know who was first with it. I know Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport came out with it with the news first. Now the question becomes, okay, well, where is all this stemmed from? Things have been pretty quiet on that end. Jonathan Taylor left the team, went to go like rehab and stuff like that. Stepped away from the team. Shane Steichen talked earlier this weekend about it, saying Jonathan Taylor should be back with the team. When asked about a timetable to his return, he said, "I don't have any timetable." Okay. Again, all of this has been really murky. Everything's been getting weird. No one's committing to anything officially. Steichen came out and said Jonathan Taylor should be traveling with the team next week to Philadelphia. Okay, I mean, Philadelphia is close to his hometown. So is he making that trip to, be closer to family? Who knows? I don't know. But Marcus, yes, there we go. Here we go with pulling up the X. Man, I got to keep correcting like, hey, okay, it's X now. Okay, so now everything is moving full circle. And again, we all know how we got here, okay? And the weirdest thing in all of this, Marcus, is it still baffles me how he gets a surgery in January, is given a 4 to 6 week recovery period. And somehow, here in August, he has to step away from the team. Not just the team, their physical therapists, their doctors, everything. He has to step away from them to get treatment outside of the Colts in August. Not March, not April, in August. We are 2 weeks away from week 1, 2.5 or so. And everything is still murky on that end. So that's number one right there. Like, what in the world is going on here? Obviously, you had all the drama going on. We all know that full story. We know it as well, all right? Marcus, what's your opinion to this? This news dropping now. He's being given permission, right? Now, being given permission is not the same to the Colts are looking for a trade because they're giving him permission to look for one. They're not actively calling teams. They want teams to call them. So what are your thoughts on this, man?
I'm not shocked by it. Once this whole thing started from the beginning with the whole agent and everything situation, it's like, okay, Jonathan Taylor doesn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
Even his agent has the same intention. And, at the end of the day, it's like you come to a point, especially knowing this business. We're not experts about the NFL business, but we know, like, this isn't the first time we've seen this type of situation with a player that wants out. It's totally normal. It just happens to be our team at this point. So I'm kind of not shocked at it at all. Like, once this news dropped today, I was just like, oh, okay, well, this is expected. Like, we realized that he didn't want to be there. Me being at training camp, seeing Jonathan Taylor with this hoodie on, he didn't want to be there. The excuse that he had to leave the Colts after he came back to, the excuse of absence, and they granted it. Okay, it was mixed signals. It was like maybe something's going on. Maybe this has something to do with the trade. All of these things are part of the process of making the player not want to be there no more and, accepting his trade value. Of course, Irsay, took the political stance of, we want him to still be here. If he moves on, change of stance, we get it. But that's the answer you would want to give to the media to not show that, okay, we're getting rid of this player, because it's going to make your team look bad, the organization, from the organization standpoint. So it's like, I understand, him wanting out, and this was my prediction this whole time, even since it started. So I wasn't shocked at all. I know other fans are like, oh, maybe they was working it out, that they had a sense of faith that he was going to stay. But it's like, in reality, we knew he was leaving. It is what it is.
Yeah, and what you showed earlier from Stephen Holder, per the sources, the Colts are seeking a first-round pick or a package of picks that equates to the value of a first round pick. Marcus, they delusional as hell. They are delusional as hell. And again, we're sitting here talking about it. I don't know, man. I really don't. Bro, this is part of the frustration that me personally, this is just me personally that I can speak for myself. This is part of the frustration that goes into negotiations. Like, okay, no, we don't want to pay you right now because you have all these questions. You missed your first practice in 15 years. You missed your first game in 15 years. You, for the first time, you had fumbles and all this stuff. We don't want to give you your money. Oh, you want out? Okay, we need the best offer possible. How does that make any sense? So you're not valuing him when he's asking for money, but when teams want him, oh, now you value him to the utmost. Bro, we talking about a running back. We love Jonathan Taylor. A first round pick for a guy who is not a third down back, who is not good at pass blocking. What are we doing?
I think they're doing what's best for the organization, just like any other organization would do. Like when we mentioned, I think it was in the elite chat when we was talking about, I think we was talking about something, and I was like, in my head, I was like, if this was any other team, not the Colts, it would be the same scenario. So I don't know why so many fans are shocked. They're like, oh, the Colts are doing this, and they're blaming Ballard or blaming Irsay. It's like this player is asking to break the bank for like to set a new market. That's a lot of money going to a guy, coming off of a bad season, even though he like put the team on his back for like 3+ years. But he's asking for a lot of money. And if you're not willing to do that, it's like, all right, seek a trade. And of course you want the player to get paid. But from an organization standpoint, it's like this guy is asking for a lot. And all right, the Colts are not planning to trade him. That's what they came out with. But now they're seeking a trade. So it's like, so you know what? We're going to show you. We're going to ask for all of these things that's not possible, that teams are not going to do, just to show you you're not going anywhere. So the Colts don't want to trade him. So they're going to put out a package that's going to have other teams like, what? All of this for this guy? And a contract? Nah, deal's off. So unless they come down to a deal where it's like a second or a third, Jonathan Taylor's not going anywhere. He's not. So, I mean, it's all smoke screens at this point in my eyes.
Yeah. And Luke Verkamp, our photographer here, our CWO here at the Blue Stable, he says here, I think it's getting blown out. Eckler and Lamar both got permission to seek a trade, and both are still with the teams and no drama. Boy, what would I give to be a Chargers fan or a Ravens fan right now? Once again, drama around the Colts, drama that's spiraled from the Colts, or in this case, from both parties, more so Jonathan Taylor in his camp more than the Colts in this predicament here. But even to their case, Eckler, okay, yeah, he spoke out, but he never had his agent beefing with them on Twitter or behind the scenes. And from what I've gathered, there has been some really heated conversations behind the scenes. So this is still taking, some time to figure out. Again, like the Colts are seeking a first round pick. Man, that's just like you said, could it be smoke screens? They're saying what they want. Because again, is that going to be the conversation? But if you get into these negotiations, and the popular one right now is Miami. Okay, let's just say Miami, since they lost out on Dalvin Cook. They were going to pay Dalvin Cook, what, $5-6 million? It's a pretty big jump to lose out on paying Dalvin Cook 1 year, $6 million, then to transition to giving away a second-round pick and paying Jonathan Taylor $13 million. That's a pretty big jump to me. And if I'm Miami, why would I do that? Well, honestly, why am I going to do that? The issues on my team are not solved by Jonathan Taylor because, again, Jonathan Taylor without an offensive line is not who Jonathan Taylor is. So what exactly are we doing? Again, when it comes to this situation, I'm okay with this statement of saying, okay, no, we want a first-round pick or a package of picks that equates to that. That's one thing. But if you're going to sit on your high horse this entire time, drag this out, and I've been open about this. I have spoke out about this. If you're going to continue to just put your ego in front of what's better for this team, put this cloud over the head of your rookie quarterback, your young offense, your rookie head coach, and your team in general. And every single game, Marcus, you know what we're going to be talking about? What would it have been different if Jonathan Taylor was out there while he's sitting at home? You know we're going to talk about it. You know they're going to get asked about it after every game. Oh, would it have been different if Jonathan Taylor was out there? Again, why would you put that through your players? Why would you want that? Anthony Richardson, man, we're happy to have you here in Indianapolis, man. But go ahead and deal with this. Yeah, go ahead and deal with that. Like, dude, is it really worth it at this point?
I mean, these guys are professionals too, though. I mean, they deal with pressure all their lives, and this just little situation, I don't think it'll change anything. Of course, the media is going to be the media at the end of the day, so you're going to have to deal with the media, regardless of the situation. It could be Jonathan Taylor, it could be a head coach firing like last year with the Jeff Saturday situation. It's just how do you respond to that? And I mean, it's normal. It's normal pressure. This situation is not any different from anything else. It's just how do you present yourself when the question comes aboard. So, I don't think it'll affect Richardson. I don't think it'll affect Coach Shane Steichen. All of this is pretty much a normal technique, especially when it comes to media. So they're going to present themselves professionally. I don't think anybody will go outlandish or go any way out of it when it comes to this question when they do ask them. So I mean, even when we asked them at training camp, like they was pretty much professional. They didn't say anything crazy about Jonathan Taylor. They didn't say anything crazy about the team. These guys are professionals, so I think they'll be fine when it comes to that.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. I agree to an extent, but again, it just goes back to this notion that yes, okay, you're professionals. Deal with the drama. Be professionals. Be grown men. Be about your business. But have you not put this organization in the city through enough drama already? Have you not put it through there? Like at some point, are you just tired of drama, or are we just gonna be in middle school every other week? More drama. Every other season, more drama, more drama, more drama, more drama. In the public eye on ESPN. And we know Indianapolis Colts don't get on ESPN, but when you get on ESPN, it's for some BS. When do you want that to stop? At some point, your culture that you care about so much, that you've been preaching for 7 years, has at some point got to reflect that. At some point, like two big things that Chris Ballard has preached since day one, he has fallen short of: culture and the trenches. If there's just two things that he preaches every single time he gets in front of the media, they have failed. Failed in terms of he hasn't done enough, or he does it too much and it's bad for the team. So again, now getting away from that, let's actually talk about trades. Actually, okay, do you have a trade in mind? Like during this whole time, ever since this thing started, you have a trade in mind that you would possibly take if you were the Colts?
I just would try to take something that's not too much, but something that's reasonable. Maybe like we said, a second would be the highest bid. But if it's a third and some change, I'm fine with that as well. I just will want to do what's best for the organization and the player. So Jonathan Taylor's pretty much been, he's been in a positive spirits, a good guy for the Colts for a while. So if they do, like they did grant his permission, I wonder if they do grant the team he wants to go to, or see what things of that nature. And if they're petty, if they want to ship him off to maybe like the Lions or something like that, a team that's not contending. It's interesting though. But for me personally, I'll be fine with the second or third pick. I don't need that much. Like the Colts are in contention of rebuilding anyway. So when it comes to what we want, we just had a good draft last year. So I'm pretty fine with Ballard or what they're going to draft. But I would just like some picks in return, to be honest.
Yeah, I would rather picks. You're in rebuild mode. You're in evaluation mode. You're not in Super Bowl contending mode. You don't need players right now. Although if you got a young player, I wouldn't complain. But right now, it's got to be about building this team up, One trade that I did mention earlier this month, and I'm going to bring it back up again. I'll call Dallas. Once again, I'll call Dallas, and I'll ask, what is the price? Is Jonathan Taylor good enough for a return of Tony Pollard and a second-round pick? That's what I'm asking. I have asked. Now, I live in Texas now, so there's plenty of Cowboy fans to ask. But those that I have asked, they say immediate no. to the request. I'm not giving you Tony Pollard in second round for Jonathan Taylor because they view Tony Pollard as a better player than Jonathan Taylor. And it's not outlandish to say that because, again, Tony Pollard is a better blocker than Jonathan Taylor. He's a better receiving threat than Jonathan Taylor, and he could do damage in between the tackles like Jonathan Taylor. So on the surface, yeah, Tony Pollard is more valuable than Jonathan Taylor. I would still call Dallas and say, hey, what do you think about this? You still get a power back, and we all know Dallas needs that because relying on Dak to do something is not going to get you far. So if you can get Jonathan Taylor, you're in contending mode now. So we give you an all-pro running back. You give us a young player like Tony Pollard, and hey, give us a third-round pick. In the comments, let me know, would you do that trade? I have another trade for you guys as well. Let me get this together. I'm calling Tampa Bay. I'm calling Tampa Bay, and I'm asking them, hey, would you give us a third and a fourth? Because over in the AFC South, I don't think Tampa Bay is in a position to rebuild. Not when you got guys like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, and you got those offensive line players, you got the defensive line, you got those vets in the secondary. You're not rebuilding anything. You're still trying to contend. And in the AFC South is wide open. So I'm calling Tampa Bay, and I'm asking them, Jonathan Taylor, you get Jonathan Taylor, and you give us in a third and a fifth. Would you do that, Marcus?
You said a third and a fifth for Jonathan Taylor?
A third and a fifth from Tampa Bay.
Like I said, yeah. If we can get multiple picks, I'm fine with whatever team asks for it. Regarding the Pollard trade, I don't think we need a running back in return. To be honest, I think we're fine, especially with the system we have in hand. With a mobile quarterback like Anthony Richardson, I don't think we necessarily need like a top running back. Well, we're good with the depth that we have. We have receiving running backs as well. So the Shane Steichen system and a mobile quarterback in Anthony Richardson, if we can get some picks or maybe some type of O-line depth or something like that in that nature that can help like plug in pieces, plug in talent, I'm totally fine with that.
We got another question here, and this is from my guy here. I really appreciate his engagement. Hey, Mike, who's the one that requested the trade? He has zero leverage. Ballard either gets what he wants or JT stays. Hey, I mean, I think that's how Ballard is feeling right now. I'm going to get what I want, or Jonathan Taylor, you're just going to have to stay here. Bottom line. And who requested the trade? Jonathan Taylor. If he can't get what he wanted, he's requesting the trade. He's the one asking for the trade in this. The Colts are finally kind of giving him some leeway as of right now, giving him permission to seek a trade. So that seems to be what's going on right now. Let's go ahead and get through the rest of these. Kawa is the one that has to find the trade partner, not the Colts. Yeah, exactly. The Colts have given Jonathan Taylor and his camp permission to seek, which means they're not calling anybody. They're not busting anybody's door down to take Jonathan Taylor off their hands. They're just sitting in the catbird seat and, hey, we'll let the offers come as they may, even though there might not be that many offers. Going here, if only there was a team that was one running back away from a Super Bowl. Yeah, we're not in that age of football anymore where you're a running back away from a Super Bowl. It's more like if you're a receiver, a linebacker, a corner, a tackle, or anything like that. 3, 4. Man, come on. What else are you going to get? 3, 4? You're not happy with the third and fourth round pick? Are you kidding me? Dude, you're not getting anything more than that. I want us to understand, asking for a first round pick of a guy who is not a third down back, is not a receiving threat, and is a bad pass blocker, is not netting you a first round pick. It's just not. Now, Chris Ballard, of course, he's the general manager. He's a tough negotiator. That's where you're gonna start. But come on, man, let's be a little bit realistic here. If you trade with Tampa, you got to get Rashad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad with it. I think again, personally, I'm in this mode. I want to see the young guys play. I don't want to take any reps away from guys like Deion Jackson, guys like Evan Hall. I don't want to take reps away from those guys. Because, again, this is the running back position. If you have an offensive line in front of you, you can produce. Give me a second and a running back. Hey, well, then you like calling Dallas and getting Tony Pollard and second back. Let's go. Definitely think the Colts said if you can find a trade partner that will pay you, then go right ahead. Definitely. It seems like they're giving that Colts shoulder like, okay, you think you can find somewhere else better? Go ahead. We'll be right here when you get back. Right, Marcus?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it seems like they're in that part of their relationship where like, hey, well, I think we can upgrade here. Hold on, I think we're just fine right now. Okay, well, I need something better. I need to go above my means or whatever the case may be. All right, let's go, Luke. Us Colts fans got to accept it won't be close to what Christian McCaffrey got. Thank you, the voice of reason in the comments, Luke Verkamp. Hallelujah. You're just not getting what Carolina got. You're just not. It's not realistic. Christian McCaffrey can do it all. When Jonathan Taylor can do all like Christian McCaffrey can, that's when we start making, well, not making, that's when we get serious about that asking price. First and a second is what should be expected, not third and a fourth. I still don't understand who we expect to give up a first or a second for a freaking running back. I mean, this isn't Ryan Grigson here. With Chris Ballard, there's no Ryan Grigsons in the NFL ready to give up a first rounder for a running back. A third and a fifth would end it and have some potential because we just don't know what pick will turn out great. Very true. But when you're Chris Ballard, those ranges of 3 to 5, especially that area, he tends to hit in that area. He was drafted in the second round. After what he's done in the league, his worth is definitely at least that. I would strongly disagree with that. Strongly. But again, you do make a point because, again, you see those games, that MVP year he had in 2021 where Carson Wentz couldn't do anything and he had to carry the entire franchise on his literal back for them to be relevant. But then again, having Jonathan Taylor didn't get you to the playoffs that year, did it? JT and his agent can both go give me 2 2s. Hey, again, I tweeted it earlier. If Chris Ballard nets a first or a second for Jonathan Taylor, it would be incredible. He deserves Executive of the Year. Just by that move alone, he deserves Executive of the Year if he nets that for Jonathan Taylor. And I'm not ruling it out because Chris Ballard does get some good value back sometimes in trades. Now, obviously, we don't need to revisit the Carson Wentz trade, but all right. Last one here. It's smart to ask for way more than negotiate down. Exactly, which is why I kind of understand, and Marcus was the first one on this before me. It's smart to just start there. Negotiate tough. Negotiate tough. Just like Marcus, just like when we go to an interview, like we go in there with our number, and then that's when the negotiation starts. So you want to start high and then work your way down. You want to be reasonable and also professional at the same time. Mm-hmm. Marcus, before we hop off here, man, because we wanted to give the guys a short show and really talk about what was going on here. Mm-hmm. 2 things right now. Do you think they find a trade partner either now or at the trade deadline and just throw a team out there? Who do you think that might be?
Do I think they find one? No. If they do, what team would it be? A team that needs a running back? It could be. Well, I don't think it'd be an AFC team, but if it was, I think the Broncos would be a really good suitor for a guy like a Jonathan Taylor. If it was an NFC team, interesting. Yeah, the Dolphins. I agree, Luke. The Dolphins is a team that could use it. If it was an NFC team, though, I don't know. A team that's willing to take the Vikings, yeah. I think I mentioned the Vikings when we first started this whole situation, I'll be honest. The Vikings, yeah. Definitely, yeah. I would say, yeah, the Vikings, because they don't have a true number one. My phone's ringing.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, is that better? I don't know what just happened here. If y'all couldn't hear me or not, but again, we are gonna get out of here soon. Marcus had to go, but I also have to go as well. Got to do some wedding planning with the fiance. But guys, with all of this, I really just want what's best for this young team. Like, okay, I really don't care what the return is, honestly, because I think we all should just want to move away from the drama and really just want to focus, because it's been nice the last week or so, really just focusing on football, the joint practices, and really talking about who's making a stamp on this team and getting ready for that final cut down, who's in, who's out. That's been fun. But we really should not want this cloud hanging over Lucas Oil Stadium and just filling the stadium with just negative energy every Sunday when there's a home game. We really don't want that, especially week one, Anthony Richardson making his debut. We shouldn't want that. And there was, I believe, Josina Anderson tweeted out that the Cowboys are not immediately discussing a trade for Jonathan Taylor. So, again, I'm calling and I'm saying, hey, Tony Pollard in a third-round pick. Who says no? Right? Who says no? I think Dallas does. But we'll see. Jerry Jones is a little bit greedy, so we may be able to take something from him as well. So other than that, guys, that's going to complete it for this episode of the Blue Stable Podcast. Thank you for joining it for this emergency pod. We're going to be back later on in the week to talk about the preseason game with Philadelphia. And if there's any new updates with this current situation, we will also talk about that and more this coming Thursday. If you're not already, make sure you subscribe to the Blue Stable on YouTube and following on Twitter, all of our socials. We're everywhere already. And also listening on Apple and Spotify and all of your podcast platforms. So other than that, guys, thank you for tuning into this show. It's been fun. And make sure you tweet at us at the Blue Stable on x.com or tweet at me or Marcus. And you know, if NFL ever had a trade machine, I think it would be firing up. That's one thing I love about the NBA that has over the NFL, because they got that trade machine that is just working, although their cap situation is a little bit more easier to figure out than the NFL is. So other than that, guys, make sure you get at us with your trade requests, your mock trades and everything like that, guys. And we'll see you. We will see you on the other side of this. Maybe a trade does go down. Other than that,